Hey, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions. The title of this video is Dear Mr. DJ. Another one of the best things about finding storage units is you never know when you're going to come across a true collector. Mr. DJ was a true collector. This guy was a DJ before, I guess, spinning turntables. He had maybe 10,000 albums ranging from the 40s to 50s to 60s to 70s and the 80s. I don't really think he did anything in the 90s because he was an older guy. But this is the beautiful thing about that greatest generation of people. His stuff was immaculate. Nothing was scratched. Everything was in the crates. If it was in the A crate, it started with an A. And it taught me a lot because, you know, records come in a lot of different colors. You have some that are red, some are blue, 33 and the third, 78s, 45s. He had all of that. But the cool thing was he had pictures in history. And albums back then, because this was maybe 4.5, 5 years ago, I like black and white photos. Okay, there's a certain texture and class to it that I love it. That's like on my Facebook page. It's usually going to be a black and white or a septic tinge because I love that stuff. And he had those black and white photos of the Lindy Hop, just really, really cool stuff when people went out and had a great time because he had the music, but he also had the history and newspaper clippings, and obviously, you know, he did some stuff. He was a well-known disc jockey. He did some radio work. But the thing is, it was like going into a treasure trove because this guy was great. I would, you know, get everything out the unit, and the unit was not that. It only cost me $80, and the unit was not that full compared because it was 10 by 10, but it was like the records were in boxes. The crates were in boxes, so no one knew what was in the boxes, and he didn't have any writing on the boxes or nothing. So it was bidding in the blind, and this little chick that wasn't there who was like, I want to try the boxes. I want to know what's in the boxes. I want to know what's in the boxes. I'm like, half of you not getting this, but you know, try as you want. So I get it. Load it up and get back to the warehouse and going through it. And you pull out a record and you look it up and it's something. You pull out another record. He had a lot of common stuff, but he had a lot of uncommon stuff. Typically, this is a tip for you. Records still bring a lot of money based on rarity. Not if it's a Michael Jackson or no. They're all over the place. If it's a million, if it went platinum, you don't want it. You want that stuff, that little independent stuff. They only maybe pressed 500 copies, or it was from Nat King Cole, or it was a special edition. He had that type of stuff. We made buku money. I stopped counting after $4 grand. I just stopped counting. It was just like, and the thing is, when you have an organization and a business, it comes. You know, it's not like I bought it on Wednesday and I made $4 grand on Saturday. That didn't happen. This took some time. Probably took a few years to sell, but we made the bulk of that money in the first 4 months. Because the thing is, when you sell stuff and you got it at such a great deal, you don't have to be in a hurry just to sell it to get all your money back. Because I got my money back after the first auction on eBay. And then we found other places, then I found collectors, and I put an ad in the paper and people come by. And I knew what the stuff was worth, so if it was a true collector, they're going to pay retail price. If it's a guy like me who's buying to resell, they want to talk you down. And I just told those guys on the phone, look, I know what I have. I have a store. I can sell it. Take a little time. So, you know, if you want it for personal stuff, realize you're paying retail pricing, or if you buy a lot, I'll work a deal with you. Oh, that was the front end. The back end was, and as you can tell, I'm somewhat of a sentimental person. I like backstories. You know, this guy he was in World War II, the fight. You know, he's a veteran. He was an infantryman. He got out on the GI Bill. He went to school, and then he built a life, and he had this family. Now, this guy was old. The records were probably put in there by the kids because he was an older gentleman. But I like that backstory, that life, because so many of us now are just, I call it walking zombies. We really don't have a life. That's when you see someone with a really tight family and they get together and they do stuff. It's like wonderful because most people don't have that. They really don't. It's like we've become so separate. So he had that, the history, the old uniforms, which actually did quite well on eBay. Just in straight razors, which are funny. They're kind of hard to find now, but he had those old with the strap. Because dude, apparently until the day he couldn't do it anymore, he shaved with a straight razor. He had like 4 in there with pearl handles. Those things were nice. I actually ended up keeping those for a while before I sold them because You just can't find them. You can get a straight razor, but not like those. This is something like you would see in an old movie, and the barber's just then, you know, a pocket watch, and a very nice gold watch from the company he retired from. Just little bit of things. And he had cufflinks. All his shirts were French cuffs. He had all these wonderful, exquisite, unique cufflinks. Once again, I actually still have the buffalo head cufflinks, which he may have gotten later. I don't know if they're gold. I didn't test it because I wasn't going to sell it. They're in a gold base with 2 buffalo nickels in there, and they're like real snazzy. He must have like 50 pair of cufflinks, the tie links, and the thing is his shoes. Even they all had spit shines on them. All of his shoes had spit shines. Being a veteran, being in the military, I know how to put a spit shine on a shoe. It's a lot of dedication. It can be a little relaxing if you have nothing to do. You watch the TV and you just, you know, I didn't spit on it. I used water. Back in the day, I guess they spit on it. And also just a lot of implements from that era. You know, he had fountain pens. I love fountain pens. You know, I have a really unique form of penmanship, and the fountain pens just even make it better. So I'm into that. And he was also a historian. He wasn't a writer, but he logged his life. This happened, and he did something that I really wish I had. On the back of each picture was what it was, who it was, the date, and everything. So when you get old, and I'm going to tell you, if you live long enough, you're going to get old. An old person told me that as a kid. I didn't really know what it meant, because you know, obviously as you grow older, you get old, but your mind goes, and there's some things you're just not going to remember. And I was just like, God, he had all this stuff and all his memories, and had 3 kids, had a wife, and I just looked at that. And the thing that got me with Mr. DJ was, in his pictures, he looked happy. He looked happy, content, peaceful. And there's a lot of that stuff's missing, because people are just like, I'm just making it through life. Because right now times are hard. Times are very, very, very hard. And I know this isn't one of those snarky stories and everything, because there's a lot of units I got. It was really sentimental, and it was very, very sad, because you could tell this was a good person. Just little things, you know, the Bible, the mementos. The mementos are huge. What people keep is way more important than what was discarded, because, you know, you open up the Bible, and he had the day that he got married. The wedding program was in there with some flowers that was pressed in the Bible. The birth certificates of each child was in the Bible. And, you know, and they just did a lot of ceremony. There was a lot of ceremony with this stuff. I was like, man. And see, this is one of the things where, you know, we made a lot of money off the unit. And there's other units that were similar to that we didn't really make a lot of money. But it was cool because I have this huge level of curiosity about human nature. I just love knowing about people. I'm a voyeur. Here in Atlanta, before 9/11, when you used to be able to go to the airport, I used to go down to the International Concourse and just watch people coming in and just like, hey, what is this guy's story? What is this guy's story? And I get to do that with these storage units, because you never know what you're buying. You have no clue. Sometimes you're like, oh, damn, this story sucks. There's other times like, wow, this is really sad. And, you know, I'm a big thing about, you know, romance. You know, any chick I'm dating, seriously, let me be real clear about that. Seriously, there will be some romance. We're just kind of like filling each other out. I'm learning I have to hold back on that, because they get weird, because they're like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want from me? Why are you being so nice to me? Why are you being so nice to me? Calm down. I'm trying to be good to your ass. Anyway, he had love letters. And what I think is missing today is, when you write a letter, that means you must be still, you must sit down, and you must think about the person and put effort into it. A lot of that's gone. And that's why I like these storage units, and I like getting this old stuff, because it reminds me of when we as a people, as a country, we were better. You know, we didn't have all the technological advancements, but we had community cohesion. People would do stuff. People looked out after stuff. Right now, the world's really rough. The economy's real rough. I've got a lot of friends who were balling 3 years ago. I'm not like kind of sort of ball. I mean balling. Now, it's sketchy. 401k's gone. Savings. I'm talking about people with 80, 90, 100 grand in the bank. It's gone. You know, and the bill collector's knocking on the door. Mr. Foreclosure's around the corner. And these people made all the right decisions. So we're in a very different state of flux. So that's why I'm saying to you that if you have a dream, there's something you want to do with your life, there's someone you love, and you know they love you, and you love them, and you're sitting around bullshitting, stop playing. You don't know how long you have left. I'm serious. You really don't know how long you left. And